So I did it, guys. I quit coffee. And why did I quit coffee? Well, man, there's a lot to unpack here. But, you know, number one, I just did it. I just did it. I said, screw it. Why can't I just quit this? Like, I just got to a point where I was like, I don't care. I'm just sick of, I'm feeling like crap from constantly drinking coffee. I overdo it. I know I shouldn't drink in the afternoon. And I always end up having a cup in the afternoon. I work from home, and it's just hard. It's just, especially if you're fat, and if you're fasting, maybe doing up till dinner. It's so hard to not have to keep drinking the coffee because it's just a great substitute to distract you and something to consume. Um, so yeah, I quit last. The first day off was last Monday, so here we are on Tuesday. It's been over a week, and in terms of how I felt right after, ooh boy, that was tough. But well, us go back. So why? But why am I actually? So number one, I did say just let's screw it. The other thing is I don't even like coffee. Okay, I don't even like coffee, and I finally, when I got to a certain age, I did finally figure out why do you not like coffee? I don't. It's so dehydrating, right? So I really don't like it. And I'm not going to drink it black because that eventually ends up starting to hurt my stomach, like perpetually. And black coffee is disgusting. I don't care what anybody says. You have trained yourself. If you say black coffee is delicious, you've trained yourself to think it's delicious. I mean, it's super bitter and dehydrating and horrible. I'm also like really, I've had to come to terms over the years because I'm an old man. I'm 40, but I'm really sensitive to drugs in general, even like alcohol. And caffeine is a drug. People forget like it's an actual drug, and people have died from caffeine. Not that that's gonna, that's very rare, but it happens. But I'm sensitive to alcohol. Like alcohol makes me very tired. I can only handle so much. Um, so I'm not a huge drinker either. And caffeine, I've always been. I do not need a lot of caffeine. I'm very sensitive to it. Um, but yeah, recently I got, so I've been back and forth between coffee and energy drinks, right? Because I prefer energy drinks because I feel so much better drinking them because they don't dehydrate me like coffee does. And the other thing with coffee is like, with coffee I have to basically, to consume it, right, where it can taste good, and it's like, okay, it's pretty good. I have to put a bunch of cream in one form or the other, right? And let's be honest, like, real dairy cream is the only one that actually tastes good, in my opinion. Like, I don't want to do all the almond milk and all that stuff. I've tried all that; it's not good. And there's reasons to not do that too. There's so many rabbit holes to go down when it comes to this stuff because almonds have cyanide. But anyways, um, and do you want to drink soy milk? I'm good. So, yeah. So I took my headphones out. Now I'm like, what world am I in? My headphones were in. I don't need those things. But so where was I? So coffee, yeah, it's just basically to make it palatable. I have to put a bunch of cream, and then if I'm not sweetening it, I'm also not enjoying it. And I don't want to put in sugar, right? Because we're low carb here, baby, right? Boom. Oh, we're low carb. Um, some of you are carnivore, which boom, love that. But basically, I want to sweeten it. So what have I been doing for the past few years? I would use stevia. And that's another thing where it's like this just doesn't. Number one, stevia is you get used to it, so you're like, okay, this works. But is there really no cost? Is there really no cost to consuming these artificial sweeteners? Because it's literally too good to be true. How can you have something sweet that has no negative effect on you? Because sugar for sure does. Okay, how can you have something else that is also sweet it has magically no calories and oh, there's no negative effect on you? That's just too good to be true. That where does that exist in life? Nowhere. There's always a catch. And I've recently seen some very interesting stuff. I love Dr. Anthony Chafee. He's like my dude. He's like the main doctor one of the main doctors I respect. and idolizing this field. He talks about how stevia actually for like I think it was like centuries or like a really long time has been known in some part of the world to be to basically like block fertility, basically be like a um what's the word, like a birth control. Now I'm obviously not a girl, or am I? Well, I'm not a girl, but so I don't need to worry about that in that sense. And I've had kids, so I don't need to have any more kids. But still, if it's doing that, what else is it doing? I mean, if it's doing something weird like that, I mean, come on, man. There's some weird stuff going on. And then I've heard other stuff about these sweeteners where they can mess with your gut microbiome. Not that everything else doesn't. If you're not eating the proper human diet. Um, so there's that whole thing. So basically, long story short, I would be on and off. I would need to douse, like, put tons of cream and then a good amount of stevia in my coffee for me to enjoy it. And yeah, it was good for sure. And then so on the other end, I've had these bouts where I'm like, I'm sick of coffee. Sometimes that'll even start bothering my stomach. And even with that, I don't like the dehydration. I don't like the dairy from the cream that it leaves in my mouth all day. I started needing to go brush my teeth after I'd have a cup because of that film left in my mouth that just coated everything. I hate that. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't like this. So I would go back and forth between that and energy drinks or sometimes caffeine pills. And now we get into, well, now I'm drinking energy drinks. And I'm like, what is in these things? These are so fake and they have artificial sugars. They are delicious. And man, it's if you're gonna have caffeine, if I had to pick one, I'm picking energy drinks, because they just don't have that dehydrating factor for me. So, um, but then I'm feeling, then in the back of my mind again, and now I'm like, okay, I'm drinking energy drinks. This isn't right. I really need these, like, and then it all morphs into like, wait, man, like, what? Can I really not get through life without needing some form of caffeine? Because it's, to me, it gets so weird. Like, coffee is like such a cultural thing, right? Where it's like, oh, it's coffee. But for me, it was like, it's always been a mental thing of like, man, where I'm switching over, instead of coffee, I'm replacing that with energy drinks. I'm like, dude, I need this little special soda drink to like have a normal day. And like, if I don't have, we all know, if you don't have it at some point that day, oh, you're gonna hit a wall, get a migraine, and just start dying until you eventually start consuming caffeine again, right? And it's like, really, do I really need this? You know. So I've had all these mental exercises of around it, like, really, man. And how about the fact of any of you? I guarantee a lot of you who will see this have children. Okay, and even if you don't, it's, you can understand because you were a child. But I look at my kids and they can just have a normal functioning life. How the heck do they do it? The caffeine isn't even a thing for them because they haven't been addicted to it yet. And how do they function? Like, how do they not just get, how do they accomplish anything, right? How do they get through school and get anywhere in life and excel in sports, uh, etc.? How do they do that? It's just, remember back then you didn't need caffeine then. Why do I need it now? So really, what started to bother me is just that, like, I need this thing to have a functional life. My life is just gonna fall apart if I don't have caffeine. Like, really? Am I just gonna lose all drive? Am I gonna stop doing, like? Am I gonna have no drive for content? Am I just gonna be a worthless piece of crap? And I'm like, I want to freaking let's really test the waters here. And you know, somebody very motivating for me, and I'm sure some of you at least will have heard of him, is Dr. Anthony Chafee. It's like my man crush, right? Like my little man crush idol. He is, in terms of like being an eccentric, low carb carnivore, he has been a very bad influence. He is just really been so influential with the danger of plants, which is just, I love the logical part of the diet. How are you going to tell, like, first of all, how are you going to tell me that humans are the only animal that we all do not know what their singular diet is supposed to be? We know it for every other animal. We are experts. But for humans, oh no, it's so complicated. Some humans have evolved here and there. So, some people need this and some people need more. That is makes no sense. So we can tell you exactly what a cheetah's diet is. We can tell you exactly what a gorilla's diet is. We can tell you exactly what an alligator, what a fit, like any sort of fish, whatever. We know the diet of every animal. But for humans, oh no, it's more complicated than that. No, that is illogical and just shows the absurdity in overthinking and the ability to brainwash this really smart animal, right, that we are, who can overthink and get into this. Since we can think outside of the box, which these other animals can't, right? They don't overthink this. They just know what to eat. They know when to stop eating, right? And they don't. Their teeth don't rot out of their darn head for no reason unless they're fed something unnatural. But so it's just, come on, guys. So I love the logic, the simple logic. Getting back to that when it comes to anything, right? How did we evolve? How did we evolve in the ice age? I mean, come on, and all the records we have, and then you can do the nitrogen, the awesome stuff about nitrogen testing that literally proves we're hypercarnivores, like we're the most carnivore animal that's ever existed. How did we survive the ice age? We obviously had to survive on animals, like duh. So whether you like it or not, you evolved. Your genetics evolved from eating like fatty meat, ultimately fat and meat, right? So that is what our bodies train for. Of course, we can deal with some other um, plants, but there are effects to it, and there are long-term effects, and yada yada yada. And so, anyways, off my little rant there, he has been just transformational for me and a lot of people, in terms of how the whole phrase of plants are trying to kill you, right? And it's a bit extreme phrase, but it is true. Plants, the way they defend themselves is through plant chemicals, right? And guess what? So on that note, you know, plants defend their seeds, which are their babies, right? The most, right? It's a real common thing, like with I forget the examples now, but a lot of there's several seeds where it's meant where they actually start to get chewed or crushed. That's when they release like the big toxins they have, right? So they're protecting their babies like the most, right? So they protect their seeds. So seeds have a lot of stuff in them, is what I'm getting at. Well, what do you think coffee is? Coffee is a bean, okay? So that is a seed. So you're taking this and then you're like cooking the heck out of it, right? You're like basically boiling this and getting all the juice and whatever you want to call all the stuff inside this seed. And you're telling me and then there are these studies that coffee is like some freaking health food basically, and that it provides longevity. That just doesn't make any freaking sense at all. It's just like, oh, if you have caffeine constantly going in, that's some magical health thing. Give me a break. So anyways, um once I got turned on to him, like, I was like, oh, there's no way coffee's good for you. I mean, it's a real hardcore bitter seed, and then we're like heating it up and getting the insides or whatever that we're getting the material out of it. Like, give me a break. I guarantee there's a bunch of, and he even talks about it. I forget the number. There are just there's like it's hundreds or like thousands or hundreds of thousands, something crazy, like chemicals and different things in coffee. So nah. And then another interesting fact is caffeine, right? Just in general, that is a natural insecticide that actually the plant created. So when bugs eat it, it like fries their brain. Obviously, it doesn't. It's not that intense for us, but that is what that is. And I'm not. Of course, caffeine feels good. Like, I'm. Like, come on, we all know that. But that is a weird thing. And what I was also thinking about that I don't hear anybody talking about that I was like thinking through is that it's really screwing with your hormones consistently. Like you're jolting in this caffeine and really messing with your system just over and over and over again. Like that just isn't a natural thing to be happening. And I'm trying to get that all regular. I'm trying to get it so where I go to sleep easier, and I'm already going to sleep so much easier for sure. I was just thinking about that today. I kind of hadn't been thinking about how my sleep's going, but I'm definitely going to sleep quicker. It's just not as hard. And I have had, in terms of optimizing your hormones, you know, I've been wanting to. Sleep is a real thing where I know I've been lacking because I'm definitely on my phone every night. I mean that's a whole other next problem of like actually putting the damn phone down and like not needing to listen. I at least listen to something to go to bed. I'll be completely honest. I'm like super. I'm sure many can relate to this, but like I'm very addicted to using the phone at night. So that's my next battle, but like one thing at a time. Let's just calm the heck down. I'm doing okay. Um, so yeah. Oh, and so back to Anthony Chafee is he has also he's a no caffeine guy. He's been off caffeine for a while and definitely recommends it. So he's got some good videos on that, and I just think um, I don't know. I think it's just a noble thing to try and do. I guess noble that doesn't make sense, but no, I lost my train of thought there, but yeah, but basically, he's got some good videos on that, and those have been very motivating for me. I definitely recommend if anybody's looking for somebody to follow. He's my top recommendation. Um, and yeah. So, anyways, this is my journey to be off caffeine. It's been over a week right now. I'm feeling overall good. The first few days, the first day was absolutely I got kicked in the balls, man. Like big headache and just worn out. I just had to lay down all day. And so I was just worthless. And then the next day was okay. I didn't have a big headache, maybe a small one. And again, overall pretty worthless. The third day, I think probably no headache, but again, just feeling worthless and like just kind of no motivation, like just real low energy, so kind of laying around too. And then it kind of started to ease up. And then in terms of other effects, like even several days after, and by the way, I've been able to hit up the gym twice a week. Even during that, I was like, dude, get out there. I gotta push it, man. I gotta push it. I gotta like really just freaking get these hormones firing again. And so I've been going and pushing it at the gym at least twice a week. Is typically with the how much I'm able to get out there. Um, but yeah, there's stuff I've noticed, like yesterday even. So that yesterday is an exact week out, and like at 4:30, I I don't know what happened. I'd eaten a healthy lunch and like a really clean protein lunch, and then like a few hours later at like 4:30, I just felt like complete dump. I don't know what happened. So but man, I just had to like go lay down and just feel worthless. But I was like, what is going on? And um, I don't know if there was a storm coming in. I don't know if that kind of messed with the pressure in my head, but that was feeling weird. I don't know, but it could. What I was thinking is it could have been just another. Your body is so used to getting caffeine. If you think about it, when you're like shocking your system with this chemical, this random little chemical that we've gotten used to for years. Um, every morning, like in number one, I mean, like even on the my recent thing is I'd got back into coffee, right? And so I was doing minimum to, like, I was doing 2 to 3 cups a day, and I of course ended up kept having a third cup, like, after, like one, maybe even two at the most, right? Because I'm working from home and I'm just like, screw it, right? You've let some time go past since your second cup, and I'm like, dude, I want that uplift. And then of course I always feel like shit from that third cup, but oh, and I know I shouldn't be doing it, right? So because I want to be able to not, I want to be able to sleep well at night, and of course I end up doing it. So then there's that whole regret thing, and you're like, dude, you're annoyed with yourself. But you're also like sitting here. So I have bad willpower with caffeine. Same thing with energy drinks. Like it takes a lot of restraint for me to only have one, right? Because I'll have one and then I'll want another one later. Maybe I'll give it some time, but like it, and that second one, I'll always feel like crap. But so many times I still end up doing it. So I'm just so sick of that. I'm so sick of it. I struggle with the willpower dealing with caffeine because it's almost like smoking a cigarette. If you've ever done that, which I did a long time ago, right? I did that for a little bit, or vape. I was also doing vaping. Like it's such a thing to do. It's a thing to do. It's a thing to make the thing. It's like you get your first sip and you're like, oh, let me get some work done. So I'm so tired of that damn roller coaster ride, and I want a freaking raw dog reality. I want to feel like, what is it like to just not be putting these drugs into your system, and that is a freaking the most consistent drug everyone's doing. The last thing I would say, I know this has gone on a long time. Sorry, but it is so trippy when the culture of caffeine. When With me not being on caffeine, I mean, what is this? What statistic am I? Am I like the 0.001% of adults not on caffeine? Like, that's crazy. Everyone. I mean, it's hard to find someone not doing caffeine. Even if people aren't doing coffee or energy drinks, they're probably doing tea. So like it's weird, but so that part can be a little fun. So it depends how you want to mentally go into it. Like, am I out of the crowd, or am like, dude, it's like watching a zoo or something. Like, wow, you really, like, you can't get going without that. But I'm waking up and I'm freaking raw dogging reality, dealing with real life. So now I completely, by the way, understand people, not having the same thoughts and annoyances with coffee like me. Um, totally get it. Like, no judgment at all. I can't guarantee I'll do this forever. I don't know. But like, I got off, and right now I just don't, getting back on is like, that's a big step to be like, oh, I'm just going to take a sip of caffeine. Like, and then the whole engine starts again. So I really don't want to do that. And I don't know. I feel like I'm getting equilibrium here, and I'm just ready to face reality right in the freaking face. Like, I've had a lot. I've had an insane past year for me, right? I'm like, I have 2 kids, and I'm getting divorced. Um, there was like infidelity involved, and so it's just been. I've just gotten to a point where I'm like, I don't care. I need to move forward and do things. I just want reality to slap me right in the face right now. I don't need to like distract myself with drugs, and I just need to get out there and push myself. Try and push myself to do stuff like this. Push myself, like, go to the gym and push hard, push really really hard, and it feels so good. That's another thing. I know I'm rambling, but man, I used to really like. It'd be really tempting to get some caffeine on my way to the gym, you know, and not doing that. Oh, it's just so hard to not stop by the store. So it takes a lot of willpower, because this stuff is just everywhere. Everywhere you look, people are drinking coffee, or they're drinking an energy drink. You see them going through the Starbucks or the Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. And but like, dude, I don't know. Also, it's like, suck it up. Like, who cares? Again, like, how did kids ever survive? How are they surviving? I don't know. How do the kids survive without the coffee? Because they're not thinking about it, because they're not doing it. Like, it's not it's a whole mental thing. It's a whole mental thing. Like, oh, I have to have it. No, you don't. You don't. Like, what, your life's gonna fall apart? No. All right, guys. Thanks. If you made it this long, we need to like virtual hug because you're my homie now. And I appreciate it. I'm gonna try and start doing some more long form content. I think it's kind of fun because I've been doing these short reels. And I'm like, man, I just want to get on here and like chat sometimes, like, and rant a bit, instead of having to edit everything. It's not gonna be perfect, but like, who cares? But anyways, y'all have a great day. You stay good, carb addicts. Be good.